Welcome to another Golden Soul Dogs podcast. We have here Team Clark, brother-sister team from Rabbit Run Retrievers, who have a ton of experience with all kinds of breeds. I'll let you talk a little bit about that, but a little different slant here because you do have a lot of experience and have had a lot of dogs in the past. I think you'll be able to bring some of that experience and compare and contrast it with the past couple of years that you've experienced with us and the two dogs that you have from us. All right, so what were your original expectations, if you can go back in time, our puppy matching process?
We really had no idea what the puppy match process was even going to be. I mean, we've had quite a few dogs over our lifetime here. Our experience was basically you go, you see your puppies, you pick it up and you head on out. Basically, you pick from whatever was left there. So we really had no idea what to even expect with the puppy matching process.
No support from the breeders themselves. I mean, pretty much when you took your puppy, it was yours. I mean, we've had some support recently from our Labrador breeder, but nothing like we've experienced with you guys, which was great. I mean, it helped us through some spots where we were a little lost and frustrated with the dogs, and we knew it was us, not the dogs. It was something we were doing. No real support from. In fact, a lot of them you never heard from again. They didn't really care what we did with the dog once we took it, and they got their money.
Yeah, but the puppy match really had no idea. Frankly, didn't even know what it meant. Really had no idea what. I mean, puppy matching to us was we decided we want a Labrador Retriever, we wanted a Welsh Corgi, we wanted a Golden Retriever.
Okay.
I mean, we found the breeder, we had a discussion, and we went, saw the puppies, and usually when we saw the puppies for the first time, it's we have 5 left and take your choice. There was really no matching to us, with the exception of we match ourselves to the breed that we want.
The breed. That's a good point. I think that's very traditional. You know, that is how everybody did it for decades. And some do something like what we do. Again, not the breadth and depth, but it is new on the scene, let's say, in the past 15 years that we've been breeding, that we've taken it to the level that we have based on our knowledge and experience. So you're representing very experienced people, lots of different breeds, and that there still is something to be gained to take it that next level that probably a lot of people don't know about, just like you. For the audience that's out there listening or watching when I post this, I hope that they can relate to the things that you're saying, because it isn't about whatever was done before was bad and wrong. You know, my early litters, we did the same things. You're first in line, come in, you pick that puppy, go, next one, go, whatever. But I think it's important that people know there's more to it, let's say, more to it that can be done. Not that it's bad to not do it, but that there's more. And that's what I'd like to delve into with you guys, especially coming, like I said, from an experience point of view, and not just multiple breeds, but you've also raised a lot of puppies and you've titled a lot of dogs. So you know what the end result has been from the time you got the puppy to over those years that they were alive. And of course, you've got multiple dogs that are still kicking. So we're all happy about that. So you come in, you meet us. Okay, you're on the list for this next litter. You're going to go through puppy matching. What was that actually like? And I know that you have 2 dogs, two girls from us. You can talk about the differences or similarities of the puppy matching with them, but what was that actually like going through it for real?
Now, of course, like you said, we have 2 Golden Soul puppies. Ours was a little bit different. I mean, it was our first time with puppy matching, so we really had no idea what to do. Now, as you know, our request right from the get-go was we only wanted a female. We did not want a male. Now with Aura's litter, of course, there was only one. There was only one female. But you told me right up front, if Aura was not the match, we would be matched for a future puppy. Okay, we've never had anybody tell us this is your puppy. It's always been, we will take that puppy. So up front, before you had even made that statement, we figured, okay, there is only one. I guess she's ours. And that wasn't the case. The puppy match process started actually even before Aura hit the ground with the modules and the reading materials and you were learning about us. We were learning about the puppy even before we'd even seen her. And then as we actually got to the matching process and actually saw all the puppies together, and then here's your assignment while you're here and observing the puppies and then you observing us with all of the puppies. I guess you're gaining knowledge of us interacting with all of the puppies for everybody else that was getting puppies, and also us learning if we were the good match for Aura and the whole bit. And then as we continued on doing that, just kind of bonding with all of the puppies, but seeing how Aura bonded with us. And then luckily at the very end, it ended up with Aura.
I think getting to meet you and Jenny together and then with all your dogs, and we were lucky enough to get to meet Tracker, before he died. But to see how all of the dogs interacted with each other, especially Topaz, who is Aura's mother, and see how she was just around us and around all the other dogs, it basically felt like we were coming into their pack, to be in their pack. And all the dogs accepted us. They were great, going out and playing ball with them, doing other things and just saying, oh yeah, that's Aura's mother. We got to interact with them and see how they were. And I thought that was a really great experience because all of other dogs, we may have known either the mother or the father or maybe both of them, but we never really interacted with them. So it made a big difference to me. Like we kind of knew what Topaz was. And seeing Anthem and interacting with him too, it made a big difference. It made it like you knew the family, like you were marrying into the family. So it was really interesting process to go through, and I learned a lot.
Of course, with Jessie, I guess Jessie was more of the traditional match because again, we only wanted female, but there was a lot of them. Because we had to be matched with the right dog. We're more on the performance side of things than the conformation. Not that we don't do that, as you know.
Sure. Thanks
to you. But we basically, with you knowing that's where we were. There was such a variety of different. They're all the same litter, but they're all different, of course. You knowing what we want. She was more of the traditional. And didn't know what puppy we'd match till the very end. That was kind of the anticipation of the whole thing. You saw how we interacted with them. We knew how they interacted with us. Little comparison of notes, and the right match came along.
Kim?
I think every puppy in that litter had a different personality for different things. What we were looking for was a little bit more drive in a dog because of what we do with our dogs. And when I show them in rally and obedience, they need that little bit more drive, not so much the couch potato puppy. I think that Jessie really matched up great. You can see her mother and her father personality in her. Aura and Jessie are both different dogs. Aura is more a love bug when she wants to be, when it's her idea. Jessie will sit with you and let you pet her and play all that game. But when it's time to go to work, she's ready to work. And Aura, the work ethic is the same in them. Like the work ethic isn't different in either one of them. They both have that work ethic. It's just how they present themselves basically kind of in the family. Like they fit in to our pack because none of them want to be the alpha dog. They really don't care. They get along with each other. And that's what we needed because we had these other dogs that they had to fit in with. They weren't coming into they were going to be the only dog in the family. So they needed to
Which
fit
is a
in.
different experience too for a
Sure.
lot of people.
And these guys are great. I mean, nobody missed a beat. When we brought Jessie home, everyone was like, okay, come on with me. We'll take you outside, even though it was freezing cold when we got Jessie.
Right.
But
Saw another dog dish on the floor. They said, "Oh, guess there's another one here."
you know, and then Aura was on the road at the time, and when she
Yes.
came back, she was just like, "There's somebody else here," and they went on. Like it wasn't a big deal. It really wasn't a big deal because I think of the matching their personalities together from the very beginning.
Yeah, because you knew what
You
we
knew
had.
what we had and
Yeah.
what Aura was. It was easy to introduce them to each other and, you know, to the Labradors that we have.
It's interesting, your comment about the work ethic. For me, as a breeder, that's part of the breed standard, and that's what we want. So we're breeding for that work ethic. And that ties into when I ask people about what the job is supposed to be for the dog. Not necessarily formal job, but informally. They're going to come with a work ethic. And then the individual personalities, as you so aptly described, it blossoms. You know, we have insights up to 8 weeks old, what they're like, but then you take that dog and the potential that it has and go from there. But if it has a core instinct to work, then that's important to meet that need. And I want to go into how you found feeding the respective needs of the dog, knowing that you got information from us and you firsthand got a chance to see the puppies. That's part of the observations. And then what you do with them is that then becomes the ultimate. It becomes your dog and not just our puppies, but over time, it's more and more your dog, you know, the family's dog, as opposed to us as breeders. So you're putting your imprint on that dog as soon as you get them in your hands. They're coming with a little basket of potential, let's say. It's our job to identify that potential, which includes some personality traits. But then part of the gift is, it's not a finished package. You have a lot of influence. In fact, over time, you absolutely have more influence than the genetic work and the puppy raising that we do. So as that shifts from puppy matching to puppy raising, what have you found? What have you done? People come to us sometimes and they say, well, I already know everything. And not from an arrogant point of view, but from a confident, you know, I've had a golden before, so here you are with lots of experience and you're still learning, just like we are. Would you share a little bit about your experience with each of the pups and what you've been doing that have come from the puppy matching?
The one thing with the personalities between Aura and Jessie is Jessie's more willing to adapt to things. Aura can be a little stubborn. By showing Topaz, like I did for you guys in the rally things that we were doing, Topaz was a very quick learner, but then you better stop doing it because I don't want to do it anymore. I already know this. Let's go do something else. That's definitely Aura. And that's great.
Yeah.
But knowing that and seeing it come from her mother, it's made it easier for me to work with her and do the things that I do with them. Where Jessie, I can do something 100 times and she'll be just as enthusiastic the first time as she was the 30th time, which I don't try not to do it that many times. But
sure.
That's just the major difference in them. So I have to adapt my kind of training to the dogs. I was in the horse world for a long time, and it's the same thing with them, where you can't always do the same thing with every horse. You can't always train the same way with every dog. And whether it be a formal training for rally obedience or just training in general for a household. Like one thing I learned way early on, you know, when you're just teaching a dog to sit, you should only have to say it one time and they sit down. If you say it 10 times, the dog's going to learn, okay, I don't have to sit till you've said it 10 times. These guys have adapted so well to everything else that goes on here. I know our other dogs have actually helped with the training because they see the other dogs doing it and they just do it because the other dogs do it, which makes it easier for us on that end. And trainability for these guys is out of this world. I mean, because you guys do so much introducing them to different things and the sounds that they're going to hear, the sirens and the fireworks sounds and all that kind of stuff. We don't have a dog that's afraid of fireworks because they get introduced to it so early. You know, you guys do that part as puppies. When they go out into the real world, they're not scared of things. They find little things that they might not be totally confident in, but they're not dogs that are just scared of things.
Well, as you're talking about both dogs, as you knew when we were looking for Aura and then eventually Jessie, we were performance. Well, him is the performance. I drive the motor home and I pay the bills. But you know, our initial goal for both dogs was the performance. Of course, with Aura, she took a little bit of a detour at the very beginning, going into the conformation, which we had no idea. With your help, that's helped out a great deal. Well, now that Aura's kind of like taking a little vacation from that till next year, she'll do a little bit more. But for now, her and Jessie are actually starting training together. They both train together separately, but together. So they're both going down the same path. And where Aura picks it up, oh my God, she picks things up so quick. And I would have thought it would have been the other way. Not that Jessie's slow, but it's like Kim was saying, Aura, okay, we've learned this. Move on, or I'm going to show you how stubborn I can get. Where Jessie says, oh, you want to do it 25 times? I'll do it 25 times. Aura had a little bit of a slower start in the performance side because of her other duties she was doing. But they're both working to get to that goal of getting into the performance ring. And Aura will step aside temporarily when it comes time to go back in the confirmation ring, or maybe even do both of them at the same time. But they're both being introduced into the performance side of things. Like that's our primary goal here is performance, and also into the therapy. We're going to kind of start working that into a little bit different than we did with our other Golden, who did her performance and then was introduced to therapy at the end. But that wasn't even part of our original plan for her. But we've enjoyed it so much, they're all going to do it together.
It's interesting when you talk about that wasn't our original intent, or we didn't know we were going to do this. We've had the same experience, and that's where the dogs kind of lead us into worlds that, as long as we're listening to them and we're willing to follow, like the therapy dog work that you do. And we've had that with lots of other families where they start out and they're like, I kind of maybe want to do it, or maybe they go to classes, puppy classes, and find out about therapy dog. There's a class here, I can go do that. So maybe I will, because people are talking about it. But whatever it is, whether they get exposed to performance and rally, for example, the general public doesn't know what rally is. And so they go to an obedience class for the puppy and they're working on CGC, which we require, you know that. And they discover rally and go, oh, this is pretty cool. Let me go try some of this. Now, whether they get competitive or not is a different issue. That would be a choice, but at least some different activities because the dog is interested in that. And that is part of that puppy raising. Going to those classes and seeing what they're interested in or good at and exploring. It's not a lifetime commitment for any particular thing. Even our dogs that go through conformation and get their championships don't stay out there showing for 10 or 12 years consecutively. They go do something else, or we might cycle them in and out. They're good examples that you're sharing of what you're doing with them, is whether it's simultaneously for the Jessie as a younger puppy and Aura as a 2.5-year-old dog. You can do that. That's the cool part. They're able to do that. Kim, was there something you wanted to add to it?
It definitely all starts out with having the right puppy to do the things you want to do. You know, we let the dogs kind of tell us what do they like to do. You know, they really like to train because they want to please you. They love it when they're doing something right, and I tell them that they're doing something right. It's like, you know, I gave them a filet mignon.
Hey.
Especially
a verbal.
Or a donut.
They love their job. We're not asking them to do something that they hate. If we start to do something and they don't like it, well, we'll switch gears and go find something that they do like. You know, we have a Labrador who loves to swim, but won't dock dive because she won't jump off the dock. That's okay. We just let her go and swim. The rest of them all will jump off the dock. She doesn't care. She'll just go out and swim. And she's our best swimmer of all the group we have. But she just doesn't want to jump off the dock. And the other Labrador, I was showing quite a bit in the rally classes. She got bored with it. So we stopped. I'm probably going to take her back at some point. But we went and did other things with them. So we let them kind of tell us, what do you like to do? They love the therapy part because we go to the Philadelphia airport and they walk through the terminals and people pet them all the time. They love that. Memphis, the Labrador will basically, they don't need a custodial crew when she's around because she lays on her back and so everybody can pet her belly because she likes it.
But then we talk about Casey, our other Golden, who does therapy, and she's a dog that wants to be moving all the time. So even when we say therapy, every one of the dogs is different. I mean, like Kim was talking about the other Labrador that doesn't like to jump. She likes to do therapy, but by herself. She doesn't like to be with any other dog. She wants to be the center of attention. So you read your dog and you go from there. And I guess that's part of the matching process. I don't think I'd want to take a high energy, crazy dog and go try to do therapy with her. But with a Golden, of course,
sure.
and for most Labradors, just because of what they are, they're therapy. But they're all different. I mean, that's like you say, that's part of the matching.
And you have to match the dog, whatever breed it is, to the job that you kind of want it to do. It may not ever want to do that. I mean, I've raised horses that I thought were going to be Western pleasure horses, and they ended up being a horse that liked to jump. You know, so you don't know that, but you try to match them as best you can to start with and go from there. I just, true believer in the right dog, right horse for the right job.
I did take a little bit of a detour at the very beginning, but ultimately she's going to be the performance dog and the therapy dog with a little bit of extra in the front.
She's a great example, again, coming back to what the purpose of our breeding program is, and that is when we look at the standard, Goldens are supposed to be versatile.
Yeah.
From field dog, performance dog, whatever, they're supposed to be built the same physically so that they can do whatever respective jobs they were created to do. And so it's just more or less of those activities and how much competitiveness or not. You know, you can do retrieving and you can do it in the backyard and that's a job. Or you can do retrieving as part of obedience, for example, and be competitive about it. There's that range there, but the potential is baked into breeding to the standard.
Yeah. Oh, that's like you were talking about potential. And the day we picked up Aura, that's where you kind of said, do you want to do some confirmation? Well, if we had done it or not, it really wouldn't have made any difference. We're having a great time doing it for the most part. But you saw that potential. We didn't.
Right.
I mean, because we've never, for the most part, we've had a little bit of that with our one Labrador. It's because of other people said, hey, you should do this. Hey, she could do this.
That. Yes.
We don't have enough experience with that. We knew the performance dog. That was the goal.
Right.
And that still is the goal with a little bit of extra.
The one thing that I think that like AKC does good for a lot of people is it's not just for like conformation dogs or rally obedience dogs. They've added so many different things like, you know, the fast cat and the lure coursing and now the new fetch program that they have. So there's a lot of different things that you may not want to go show and, you know, run around, get dressed up, run around the ring and do that kind of stuff. But your dog likes to fetch. So, you know, that fetch program, it's not just for retrievers. So AKC has done, I think, a lot of stuff to help people find different things that they can go have fun with their dogs. Because people like to do things with their dog.
Yes. And that is part of our responsibility to educate people and introduce them and make those contacts and show them where to go and how to get started and what to do, along with the training facilities that they are taking their dog to, because there is a subculture out there that's growing in terms of dog activities. And there are places to go. It isn't just a dog park to go run around. There are structured things, and it's fun. It's fun to work with the dogs. Coming back to the concept of bonding with your dog and doing the training and activity with them. Yes, they've been expanding and support that, and it makes it welcoming for, say, the average dog owner to get involved in dog activities and events, but in a little bit more formal way. And to go do some things, you can get a title. There's a lot of pride with that, that you've accomplished something.
Your competition is yourself.
Yeah.
You're not competing against others. You're proving yourself.
But that again is part of the matching process, because, you know, if you have a person who's very, very active hiker and everything else, you don't want to match them with a puppy who wants to be on the couch all day. You want to match them
after they've run around like crazy for 3 hours, right?
You know, you want to match them with a dog that's very active and wants to be active. Because again, dogs have their own personality too, and you just have to match it with the right people. It's not like you can't match your kids like that, because you get what you get. But with the dog, you can match them up with the right person so that the person succeeds in raising them.
As raising yourself to the next level, wherever you are, going to the next level, and whatever somebody defines that to be. And usually, well, all of the people that get puppies from us, they have an idea of what they would like to do next or better. Again, not criticizing themselves for something they didn't know how to do 10 years ago or 20 years ago with their first puppy, but saying, I'm at a place and time in my life where I can do these things, and I'd like to be able to do this. And I wish I would have had time to do that before, but now I can do it. So that's their next level in my parlance.
And you know, if they've made mistakes in the past with other dogs or whatever, you learn from your mistakes. You know, so you know, I tell people, whether I'm training horse people or dog people or even school bus drivers, you're going to learn a lot from the mistakes that you make, more so than what the things you've done right, because you know you don't want to do that again. So you know, people learn that what they want to do, and learn the things that I can't do again because I don't want my dog to be doing that.
Exactly.
I think that makes a big deal with people when they're training.
It can be an accelerated learning.
Yes.
Like you said, very black and white. I don't want that to happen again.
It helps you guys too when you're questioning them, you know, what do they want their dog to be? They know what they don't want their dog to be. If they've had dogs before, they know what they don't want it to be.
That's right.
So this is what we want it to be. I think it helps them figure out what they want their dog to do, because they know if they've had dogs before, what they didn't do right or what they didn't like about that particular dog, and it helps you match them up better with the puppies in the litter.
It does. It helps, and we do cover that think multiple times as they go further into the process. You know, it's over time. Usually we've spoken to somebody, it might be several months, 6 months, whenever till we get to puppy matching with a new family. So we're exchanging and learning, and they are too, exploring. We've got families right now who are on our list for this next litter, and they're researching training clubs. You know, one of them we had reach out to you, I believe, over in New Jersey, to find a good place, and that they're taking their current older golden back to classes, which is what we said. You know, go take a shot at it. You have the time, you don't have a puppy.
Never too old to learn. You may have a dog that's an older dog, but they're never too old to learn. And there's all kinds of places around that offer even more specialized training classes for maybe a problem that you're having. You can help these people who are out there who have experience with that kind of a dog or dogs in general that can help you out and give you maybe different ideas where, you know, if we have a problem, we come to you or Jenny, and, you know, we've had dogs for a long time, but that doesn't mean we know everything. Far from it.
Definitely
not. You know, you're learning something all the time, and it doesn't hurt to open up your circle a little bit and ask people like, well, you know, this is the problem I'm having. I've tried A, B, and C, but I don't seem to be getting results. What do you think? So, you know, you're constantly learning yourself. I go to a lot of different training classes if I can find something that matches what I'm trying to end with. You know, I know what I got. I need to end with something a little better. So it doesn't hurt to open and ask that question.
You have a picture of that goal you're trying to achieve, and trying to find the ways that are going to get you there and meet that need.
Again, it all starts with having the right dog to start with. And that's where the puppy matching really comes into play. We had no idea what we were getting into with the puppy matching process when we started. But it has really worked out great for us because we've got the dogs that meet what we want them to do. And that's the whole goal. I loved all the puppies that we saw. you know, in both litters. I loved them all. So I wouldn't have been disappointed with any of them. But I do definitely think that we got the right one for the jobs that we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and knowing Jessie's, the two that you still have out of Jessie's litter, they're all a lot alike, but you can see the differences in them.
Oh, absolutely. And even more so now that they're 10 months old. So learning every day. Are there any memorable moments that you've had with Aura and respectively Jessie along the way?
I guess with Aura, with her little detour at the very beginning, I guess when she finally got out there in the ring and showing amongst all those beautiful Goldens that are out there, when she had her first win and got her first points and got her first best of breed, unfortunately, we weren't there for that. We heard it via phone, and her first major, that was really something because we'd never done that. I mean, if it had been her first rally class and she had won it, that would have been a great thing. But this was just something that it was just totally different. I mean, that was very memorable, and her still being the same goofy dog that she always was. I mean, she goes out there, she's very serious in the ring, but she's still a goofball. I guess with Jessie still being young, probably one of the first things that was kind of it was a goal, but it wasn't a super goal, but we thought it was great. When she first jumped off that dock and jumped into that water and the whole bit, did it herself, and I didn't have to give her a little bit of extra and get reprimanded for it. That was really something. She's just a lot of fun, and she's got a lot of good stuff coming up, hopefully by the end of the year.
The one thing with Jessie is Jessie made me go in the confirmation ring, which I don't really do, but it was something totally different for me. Jenny and you guys really helped me a lot because I had no clue what I was doing, other than a little bit that we did with our Labrador. But even going into that, I didn't have a lot of experience. I was kind of just watching everybody else and doing what they're doing. But she did get me into the confirmation ring because I wanted to get her exposed, even though that's not the direction we're going with her. I wanted to get her exposed to all the dogs, the noises, all that kind of thing. Something structured so that she could go out and do her next goal in life. Right. And so it made me do something that I had never really done before. But she was great. I mean, I made mistakes, definitely. I mean, I always tell everybody that I'm probably their biggest handicap, but she definitely made me do something that I really didn't think too much about doing. But, you know, that was pretty memorable for me on both sides, that she was so good at, you know, so good in the ring, acted like I kind of knew, but I really didn't. And, you know, just being out there and not acting like a goofball. She acted like she knew what she was doing, you know. And Aura definitely is a goofball. She will make you laugh just as some of the things she does, you know.
She's still a puppy at heart.
Her memorable things, basically, two with her jumping off the dock. You know, the first time she did that, we had taken her. We didn't really know how to teach them to jump because all of our other ones just did it. She was a little bit more reluctant at first, but once she got the hang of what I was supposed to do, she was good at it. You know, so just doing the little things like that. And again, like Chris said, the confirmation points that she's gotten and her best win. I really wish we were there for that, but you know, hearing how excited that, you know, Heather was about it and that you guys were about it made us feel pretty proud of her out there. That's the things that were memorable for me. That she, you know, and the dogs love what they're doing, you know. Aura loves being with Heather. She loves being with you guys. I mean, all she has to do is hear your voice or Jenny's voice on the phone or here on the computer, and like they're looking around to see where you guys are, because, you know, they certainly don't forget. You know, she sees Heather, and if she's been with us for any length of time, she drops us like a hot potato and runs to Heather. She just loves the people that she loves. And Jessie's a little bit more structured than she is. I'd say comes from the Topaz side, because Topaz is too. Topaz loves everybody, but she's more, not unless you tell me I can go. Aura's like, I'm going. I think that they just fit in with us so well that we didn't even act like they were new. Other than them being puppies and small, they just fit in. And that was, again, part of matching us with what we needed to have here.
I think about some of those videos of Aura when she was in the litter, and there's one where she's in the toy box, the little box, and she's laying there. She's just like, these are all mine.
And that's what she does that here too. She collects, her and Jessie, the two of them will collect all the toys and put them in a spot, and then they don't want anybody else to take them. And then if you take them, then not that they're guarding them, but that if they take them, they just follow the other dog around till the other dog isn't interested in it anymore, and they pick it up and bring it back to their pile. It's all there.
Working retrievers.
Yeah, she'll wait till they let them down, and then she's got it.
I think there's a lot of her father in her personality. Knowing him so well with that. Is there anything that you would want to share that you think's important for them to understand, or about getting a puppy, whether they're experienced or not?
I know a lot of people, they want to pick their puppy. They don't want somebody matching them to a puppy. They just want to pick their puppy. I mean, I can't say that we didn't think it was a little strange at the very beginning. I will tell you, I'm all for it. I'm all for it now. Don't be turned off by that process, because it's a fantastic process. You learn a lot about the puppy, and the puppy learns a lot about you too, because you're right in there as they're in those first 8 weeks. I mean, you're with them for 4 weeks, but I mean, those first 8 weeks really do something, and you really do learn the differences with the puppies. You're not going to be matched for a puppy that isn't the right one for you. Just let the experts and yourself learn from that and get the right puppy, so you're not challenged by having the wrong puppy at the beginning. And just from the start to the
Yes.
very finish. It's a fantastic process. It really is.
Yeah,
It's really something. You learn a lot from it. From the modules to the hands-on with the puppies to you learning what other people are observing from all the puppies. It's not just you're looking for us to match for a puppy. You're looking for our input to all the puppies. We might see a puppy that we're not really not a puppy for us, but we'll say, well, this puppy over here seems to really like to be by itself and do this kind of stuff. Now that we've gone through it twice, and you knowing us probably better than a lot of people getting puppies, but we still went through the same process that anybody is going through. It just works so well. And I tell you, I think it's a fantastic process.
Well, you see,
I mean, we definitely got two properly matched puppies here.
You see so many things, stories, and you see them on like the court shows, Judge Judy and the rest of them, that people are getting these puppies from breeders and then returning them. They weren't. They were just you go pick out the puppy and you get it, and then you get it home, and it doesn't really fit in with your lifestyle or the things you got going on in your life.
You got a cane corso in an apartment.
Then they want to return it to the breeder
because there's something wrong.
And that's it. Then they get labeled by the other people out there because now it's an older dog. That it gets labeled as something's wrong. Where if you matched it right to start with, your chances of it being a success are a lot higher than they might have been any other time. I think learning from you guys, the schedule, trying to stay on a schedule with your puppy helps with a lot of different things. It helps with your actual house training and other things, but it helps train you that there's a schedule for your dog and you need to stay as close to that as possible. As soon as you get off schedule, that's when things start to go wrong. I mean, we learned it. And once we got on the schedule and got on a better schedule for our dog, everything worked. People are against crates. I think crates are the best thing that ever happened. The dogs love them. We tell them to go kennel up and they run because they know that that's their bedroom. That's their safe spot.
Yeah.
They stay in there and half the time we go in to get them up to go and do the next thing on the schedule, and ours laying upside down, looking at you upside down, and
I got 15 more minutes.
And Jessie's passed out because they like it in there. We have dogs that neither one of them like crate pads. Okay, then you don't have to have a crate pad. Jessie will tear up her nose if it's one that she doesn't like to start with. We kind of let them tell us some of it. But the schedule has helped immensely in training them to housebreaking them and their feeding schedule. We have dogs that we don't have to look at a clock because we know when it's time to eat in the morning and it's time to eat in the afternoon. They know. And as puppies, they know lunchtime. As soon as it's lunchtime, they're following you around like, okay, where's my lunch? So that schedule has really, really, really helped. People don't believe in it when you talk to them sometimes, but really do it because it's one of the best things you can do for you and your puppy.
The whole puppy process with you guys is amazing. We've learned all. So, we've had 16 dogs total.
Wow.
From 1974 till now. Maybe a couple more in the future, but you never know. We've learned a lot from Aura and Jessie, the matching process, the whole puppy process to what we currently do with the puppies. And well, they're still puppies to us, of course.
Yeah.
The whole process, it just with having the support team and everything, and when I think we're having a meltdown and Jenny puts me in my place, it makes a big difference in the whole bit. And when we talk about puppy matching, there's even more upfront work done by you and Jenny when someone just inquires to you about, hey, I'm interested in a golden retriever because I just saw one on the internet and it's really cool. And then you interview them and they're really not meant for the dog. And unfortunately they moved on.
I think support is a big thing with you guys and your support that you give each and every person who has one of your puppies, and even if they don't, and they would call you for this different support and your advice on things. I mean, I know you've gotten phone calls when you've been at dog shows in the middle of the night from somebody who's got a dog that's sick and needs advice, and you guys answer it. You answer their questions, try to guide them in the right place, even though they could be 500 miles away from you. But the support that the breeders, not all breeders, but like breeders like yourself, offer to people is amazing. It's probably one of the biggest things that I like, because that support's there. I know if I need something and I call you or I talk to Jenny, I'm going to get good advice, and then we can go from there and see where we need to go next, or find the type of person that you're recommending that we use. So I think support is a big thing that you should look for in a breeder, whether it be, golden retrievers or corgis or beagles. It doesn't make a difference. You want a breeder who's going to support you, not just sell you the dog and walk away and not know your name.
This is chapter 1. Matching is chapter 1 of many chapters. It's not like you go pick up the puppy and as the door closes as they're leaving, that's the last you hear from them. It's just the beginning.
Because even your puppy matching process continues after they have their puppies, because you do the phone calls and and then we do our monthly thing that people can join, and asking other people.
They compare our notes
as a group, because just because I've always trained a dog this way doesn't mean it's going to work for every single dog. So sometimes just putting that out there and saying, hey, I'm doing this, but she doesn't seem to be responding. Somebody else like Sandy may have a different idea of how to do it, and all of a sudden it clicks. I definitely think your support after the fact is as good as the puppy matching up front, because the puppy's matched. You know that it's the right puppy. And now we just need the support afterwards to help these people raise them.
But it all started with the matching.
It all started with the matching up front.
I've interviewed someone in the past couple of weeks, and as I was describing all of this, I was asking for feedback and questions that they had at the end, and one of them said, it's such a relief to think about having one credible source. I'm quoting them, that there's so much information out there on the internet, and that you have to then have somebody else who can make sense of that, rather than, hey, this is the best food on earth. And it's like, no, it's killing dogs. Just as a very exaggerated example, but to be able to go one place, not that we have all the answers, but as you're saying, we'll freely share the wisdom and knowledge and experience that we have, but we're not going to be able to be part of everybody's solution. I may have to, like you're saying, direct somebody somewhere else, but that's already another credible resource. It's somebody that we know and we have used, and we know what their expertise is, or respect them and their circle. I know other breeders do a good job with raising puppies. We're different. It works for us and for our families, and that's what it's all about, because there's only a certain number of puppies that we're going to produce every year, and we're still getting about 700-ish inquiries a year. And it's down from 1,000 in the pandemic. There's just a ton of people that want golden retrievers, well-bred golden retrievers. So if we had 2 litters of 10, that's 20 puppies. I've got to sift through all of those inquiries to get to the 20, and they have to be happy. Like you're happy and pleased with the dogs you have in our relationship, and that's really what we're looking for, because it's a long-term relationship. Whether we're more involved and more communicative or less, like I was just communicating with one of Sage's litter mates that I haven't heard from in years, and they're actually over in New Jersey, and talking about that dog, and it was as if time stood still during that. We just picked right up from it, because I know the dog and the family, and just talking about different things. So it matters to us because we like to hear our grandpuppies and see them when we can work that out, whether it's in person or whether it's pictures and videos, etc. It ends up being a few people, but it's the quality for us and also for them. There are people who may want the other type of experience. Just go in, pick my puppy up, what I call transactional, and that's fine because those 730 people that aren't going to get a puppy from us in a year have to find somewhere to go. And it doesn't mean that people doing it differently are doing it bad and wrong. It's just the kind of the match of the families with us and our style. And I had somebody years ago say, oh, you want too much, you're going to make us work too hard. That's for us because it works for the puppies and you're free to go somewhere else and it's okay. And it doesn't make it bad and wrong. I understand you have different needs. Great that we find that out now. Good luck because there are other great, other breeders.
I think you guys have had these puppies for 8 weeks. You spent 24/7 with them, both you and Jenny, and you get attached to them.
Yes.
Each one's different. You get attached to them, and you want to be making sure yourselves that you feel good about letting that puppy go with these people because you've learned them. You've learned a lot from them, both from the process from the beginning till when they came and actually either met their puppies for the 4 weeks or you did it, videos because some people are from farther away and can't make it, to your place. Yeah. But you want to feel good allowing them puppies to go home with them because you've bonded with your puppies for the 8 weeks and the time that you've spent with them. So it's hard to let them go to just a stranger that you don't know anything about and where that puppy's going to end up. These puppies that you're producing and putting out there in families, you have a good idea of where they're going and the people themselves that are going to raise them. And I think that means a lot.
You're not a widget factory just producing a product to put out on the market. These are your family. You want to make sure your family gets the right start with the right people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you end up with somebody that you think is going to be right and they're not right, well, unfortunately, you've got to take care of that up front. But like I said, you're not a widget factory. You're not just producing the puppies just to basically flood the market. You have a very select litter size and you have a very select clientele and they're going to get their best home that they can get. And that's it. And that's the way it works out.
It's been a lot of fun. And,
it has been.
We've been enjoying, you integrated Aura and then Jessie into your pack and just watching them and really getting to know your other dogs too.
Well, yeah, we've changed greatly with Aura and Jessie. I mean, this used to be kind of like, we'll go do some rally this weekend, to the point now is, well, where are we going this weekend? Where are the dogs taking us this weekend? And we're enjoying this month and a half off and catch up with everything we've missed throughout the whole year since we've been on the road. So things have changed greatly here because of these two Golden Soul puppies, but changed for the better. We've changed our dog show routine greatly, but we're having a great time.
It's been a blast.
Yeah.
Been a real blast with all of our dogs. I mean, Casey would be the first one that I actually was competitive with. She'll be 10 years old in January.
Awesome.
And we've got everything now from going to be 10 months to 10 years. Even with my other dogs, I find myself using things that you and Jenny suggest for them. Because it doesn't just work on all the Soul Dogs, it works on all of them. And it's been really fun. I mean, we like to travel in, with the motorhome and everything that we do. It has been nice to stay home a little bit. We've got some work done that needed to get done around here, but
absolutely
things that are falling apart.
Don't
nailed back up.
You don't really have to be like us and be on the competitive side. I see people every day that just having fun with their dogs, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, we've kind of taken it to the extreme. I guess we take it and run with it. We find something we like and we go full bore with the whole thing. But that's not everybody, but
But that's what
part
works.
of your process.
That's what works for us. Everybody's different. And I think it's great that people just are looking for stuff to go have fun with their dogs. Right now, Halloween time, we got places around here that do the pumpkin patch rides, and you can take your dog with you. And we have one place that actually does a weekend that it's just for the dogs, where they give them rides on the little hay wagon and have different activities for dogs to do and stuff like that. Dog parades that go on around here at Halloween time, and costume classes and all that kind of people having a blast with their dogs. Instead of tying them to a doghouse out in the backyard, they're actually out there doing things and doing things as a family with the dog included. And I think that's great.
We're having a great time with it.
We have a great time with what we do, and I'm sure by next week we'll be ready to get back on the road and do some stuff. But
exactly,
we've done a lot of stuff that we kind of have pushed back and say, we'll get to that next weekend, and next weekend hasn't come until now. We have the right dogs to do our things with.
We don't have to struggle with that.
That's what's made the training on my end to do the things that I like to do with them so much easier.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not training a dog that doesn't want to do rally and obedience. I'm training dogs that want to learn. They want to learn and do it well because they want to please me. And we've come kind of full circle with all of that. To corgis that can be a little stubborn and don't really want to do what you want to do with them. They want to kind of be their own dog to these guys that really love to do. And even the Labradors are the same way. They're different personalities, both retrievers, but definitely different kinds of dogs to train. So, but we know we have the right dogs to do what we need to do with Aura and Jessie. And it's made things easy, really easy.
Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate the time that you set aside this morning. I've enjoyed it. I'm learning some insights from you guys, just talking about some of these things that help me in this imminent litter that's coming and all the new families, and being able to share with them some other perspectives as well. And I think they'll really benefit. I have absolutely used these podcasts to share with new families, and they've enjoyed them. So I appreciate that, because you guys are, like I said, bringing a different perspective. We don't know everybody's experience before we have conversations, and this way they can get to know from real people experiences they've had with the way we do some things. So appreciate that. All right, well, I will let you go. So thank you. Give them all hugs from me.
She's sleeping now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Podcast for about 15 minutes.
What's up?
We've cut into her downtime, so she just says, I'm going to do it here instead of in my
crate. I'll just stay here.
Fair enough. All right. Well, have a great day.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.